Are you fired up to be in Philly? We're so happy to welcome you to the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Thank you for having me here today. You know, these last 3.5 years serving as Pennsylvania's lieutenant governor have been one of the highest honors of my life. Every single day, I've been laser focused on what really matters: our families, our communities, and the responsibilities that we have to one another. I didn't get involved in public service for a title or a spotlight. I got involved because of what I saw growing up in an aging steel town near Pittsburgh. When I was 16 years old, a man was shot on the block that I lived. I remember standing there feeling helpless. I remember my sense of safety and security being shattered. And I remember thinking that nobody should have to live in a community where they don't have the opportunity to be safe and feel safe. That no parent should have to wonder whether their child is going to make it home at night. And no family should do everything right, work hard, show up, play by the rules, and still live with that fear hanging over them. That moment has never left me. It taught me something that I carry with me every day: that the people closest to the pain should be closest to the power. That belief led me to my first city council meeting. It led me to run for office, and it's what drives me to this very day. But now I'm even more clear-eyed in this moment, not only because of the attacks we're seeing from Donald Trump and his enablers in Washington, but because I became a father to my beautiful daughter, Harper, during my first year in office. Everything I do is about building a Pennsylvania that's worthy of her future, a Pennsylvania that is safer, fair, and more hopeful than the one that I inherited. And that's not just my promise to my daughter, it's my promise to every child in this Commonwealth. As the proud son of a union bus driver and a hairdresser, I know what it's like to grow up in a family that had to get creative to make ends meet. I was proud to grow up in a working class community and a working class family, where I learned what community meant. That it's about looking out for one another. That safety, opportunity, and a fair shot at life should never depend on your zip code or how you grew up. And that we have a responsibility to show up, to give back, and to fight for one another. That's why I chose to step forward, and that's why I've stayed in this fight. I'm proud of the progress we've made for the people in this Commonwealth. We've tripled the child care tax credit, putting real money back into the pockets of working families. We've worked to ensure that Pennsylvania kids have access to great schools no matter their zip code. Since taking office, we've increased public education funding by nearly $3 billion, driving funding to the schools that need it the most and making sure that students have every opportunity to succeed. You can applaud for Pennsylvania's kids. But I know that in order to be able to succeed and to live their American dream, Pennsylvanians need to feel safe and be safe in their communities. So we've taken action to address violence in our communities by restoring the Office of Gun Violence Prevention, funding community-based organizations that are doing the work, and we invested in after-school programs, not only to keep our kids off the street, but to give them a safe place to go and a sense of community. I believe that every Pennsylvanian should have the dignity and security that comes with a safe and affordable place to call home. So we launched Pennsylvania's first ever comprehensive housing action plan to increase housing supply, improve home quality, address homelessness, and grow local economies, making the dream of owning a home more attainable and more affordable. We've accomplished a lot in these past 3.5 years. But we can't ignore what's happening around us and in Washington, D.C. We're watching prices climb while the richest and most powerful pull further ahead. We're seeing families torn apart in the name of law and order, while the well-connected are given a free pass and their corruption goes unchecked. And attacks on our Constitution and our democracy are seen as routine and brushed off instead of confronted. Let me be clear. I will always stand up and be the voice for the voiceless. And we're going to keep protecting Pennsylvania. We're going to use our power to halt the plans for the proposed ICE warehouse detention centers in Berks and Schuylkill counties from moving forward. Because our immigrant communities shouldn't have to live in fear of going to work, seeking medical care, picking up their kids from school, and we'll make sure that Pennsylvania will continue to have free and fair, safe and secure elections, despite the calculated national effort to diminish black and brown voices and access to fair representation. It's the voices like Dr. King and countless others, activists, organizers, and everyday Americans whose sacrifices pave the way for people like me to even stand here today. I owe it to their legacy to build on their progress here in Pennsylvania so that all Pennsylvanians, no matter what they look like, where they come from, who they love, or how they worship, belong and deserve the rights afforded to them by the Constitution. That's why the stakes of this midterm elections could not be higher. The balance of Congress can be determined right here in Pennsylvania. With 4 competitive congressional seats at play, Pennsylvanians have the power to send leaders to Washington who will deliver for families and stand up to Donald Trump and his chaos. And here at home, Pennsylvanians have the power to not only re-elect me to office, but to win a trifecta in Harrisburg. By retaining the House and for the first time flipping the Pennsylvania State Senate, we have the opportunity to finally raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour here in Pennsylvania. We have the opportunity to make the dream of owning a home more attainable. And we have the opportunity to enshrine protections for our LGBTQ neighbors and so much more. Together with your voices and your votes, we can make all of that a reality. Now more than ever is the time for us to get off the sidelines, to get in the game, and to do our part. Come November, voters here and across this country have the opportunity to send a clear message to Donald Trump by rejecting his chaos and confusion. We can't and won't let this moment pass us by, and you have my promise, I'm going to be on the front lines to build a better Pennsylvania and a better America for all of us. Let's get to work, Netroots Nation. Thank you, guys.